Hey guys, thanks for tuning in for another fantastic, awesome episode of the Justice for All podcast with Randall Latta and Gage Gilbert. Yay! So this is episode number 3 for us. Sorry we kept you guys hanging. Gage and I've been pretty busy this week. Doing adult stuff. Sometimes, man, you don't always get to do what you want to do. But
work and jobs.
yeah, yeah. But here we are. We're going to try not leave you hanging. We're going to actually catch up and do another podcast hopefully by the end of the week here. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in again. So today we will be talking about drumroll foreign affairs. Yes, foreign affairs today. Yeah. So Gage, would you like to do the justice of kind of diving into an intro here for us?
Yeah, so basically in this episode we're going to be talking about just different, current events around the world, since there have been quite a few within the past couple months or so. I think first we should probably dive into what's going on with North Korea and all the recent developments there with, the South Korea Prime Minister meeting with the North Korean dictator and actually, establishing relations with them again. And for example, with the Olympics last month, they actually competed as one country for the first time ever. And now it looks like Trump and Kim Jong-un are actually going to meet in person sometime this year. It hasn't been planned out yet, but it's going to happen within the near future. So I think we should give our opinions about that first. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. No, man. It's really funny. I've been hearing a lot about this actually recently as well. And it seems like everyone's 50-50 on this. Like, I've heard a lot of things like, we've always tried. Here's the thing I always hear. The cons of this would be a lot of people say, well, we always do this. We always pander to this, little rocket man, Trump likes to say. And, what we do is, hey, cut out the nuclear program. They do for a little bit. And in exchange, we write them a big check. And then they'll do that for a little bit. And, after, 5-6 years, they're going to start again. It's like an endless cycle. So there's one criticism there I've heard. Now, and I also think it's interesting because, this really splits. Democrats especially, they're really itching their head because usually they'd be for sitting down and diplomacy on this, but how the far left has been recently, so they're torn because they're like they're anti-Trump, but he's doing something that we support. So they're kind of in between, and it's kind of funny because now the Republicans are kind of like, okay, and again, it's like he's splitting apart the Democrats and the Republican Party, and both are split anyway. So it's kind of funny. It's kind of like a fourth thing going on. It's kind of like, well, we're Republican and we see it his way, or it's like, ooh, we don't think that. On the other side, it's like we hate Trump, or but he's doing things that we want him to do. So we'll kind of see how this plays out. Now, from my perspective, I think it's a good plan. I think so far in the Trump presidency, we've seen him, when he says he's going to solve a problem and negotiate a deal. I'm going to say I think the guy is probably one of the best negotiators ever. He might be pretentious, arrogant, or whatever, but he does something to get people to kind of do what he wants. There's something about him. He has this kind of demeanor. And, he might surprise us on this, I definitely don't think it can hurt, though. I definitely think, and I personally, I'm always for diplomacy. So if we can, for the greater good, whether get them to suspend their nuclear program or, whatever, have them improve anyway, to even have that chance to sit down with this guy, I think is an accomplishment in itself. So I just think, I'm not for, let's give him more money for whatever now. But let's see what we can do. I don't know. What about you, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this issue, and I've been thinking about it a lot recently. But on one hand, yes, I do agree that Trump is doing the right thing by trying to solve it diplomatically, and for the first time in a long time, it looks like they're actually willing to negotiate. Perhaps it's because of all the sanctions we put on them and stuff, which, I mean, I don't really, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's because of that, because, I mean, we have video evidence of China still giving them supplies, so they're not following the sanctions.
Right.
And on the other hand, I mean, yes, it's good to try and resolve things diplomatically like that. And, if Trump and Kim Jong-un can sit down and work out a deal, and, if they can sit down and work out a deal, I mean, on the world stage, it'll look, really good. And if they can actually reach a deal where they can disarm their nukes at, I don't know what we would give them besides money, which I don't really agree with. I don't really support giving North Korea money because I know how their dictatorship is, kind of.
Yeah.
They're off the cuff all the time. They invest everything in their military. And, my personal opinion on it is they're just going to come back, in a few years and do the same exact stuff that they've been doing.
Yeah.
I think, people have tried this before. People have tried talks between North and South Korea, and it calms down for a little bit, and then they get antsy again for, whatever reason. They think everybody's trying to take them over, even though they're not. And see Kim Jong-un sitting there threatening countries like Australia that aren't even doing anything to them. They're threatening to nuke Sydney or whatever, for whatever reason. It doesn't make any sense to me. But, I mean, honestly, in the long run, I think, as much as I hate to say it, and as much as I hate regime changes, especially the ones that we've done in this country, I think that is the only viable solution in this case. I think somebody is honestly going to have to go in and take out their regime.
Right.
And, I don't like to say it because I know what's happened with Iraq and Libya after we did a regime change there, which
didn't work out.
Was a disaster. But this is a little bit different because you're dealing with a country with nuclear weapons, first of all. Each month it seems like they're getting, faster and faster, developing technology that can reach everywhere in the world. You got some crazy guy behind a button that, looks like he's willing to press it sometimes. And, I mean, honestly, the only solution it seems like is to take him out.
Right. Now, wow, okay, that's some good points there. I don't know, man. You kind of had me there until the regime change. Here's the thing, man. I'm gonna just lay this out. Anyone, especially like in North Korea, even with their military, I think the whole problem here really is like we're too involved. Everything we do, we're always too involved in. My thing is, this guy is threatening and making empty promises, right? We have technology now to counter. We always, first of all, have eyes on this guy, and second of all, we have technology that can take out whatever threats he makes. Like if he shoots a missile, we could shoot it down. Probably with the fucking space laser. I'm sure. We don't know that, but I'm sure. Fuck, it could happen at 2 a.m. Right? I mean, in theory,
well,
you know what they say.
But the problem isn't with them shooting a nuclear missile at us. It's what they'll do to South Korea. The problem has never been them shooting a nuclear missile at us.
Okay,
even though they try to make it out to be like that.
Okay,
they'll shoot a couple missiles at us and we'll shoot them down. But the thing is, they have hundreds and hundreds of artillery guns sitting at the border of South Korea, and Seoul is 50 miles or less from the border, and it has a population of over 10 million people.
Well, how would you?
They just start opening fire on the city, and millions of people are going to die.
But listen, all right. So listen to that. That's awful. I agree. But right now, I think okay, I'll tackle that. That is terrible. From a humanity standpoint, yes, that is not good. And South Korea is our ally. Okay, but if we are talking about American safety and American interests, which I think both of us are more, especially with Trump, I think we're really more nationalists on, as far as like militarily and, policy as far as like, our constitutional rights. I think you and I kind of see it, kind of the same on that. So,
Yeah.
would you agree? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So,
Yeah.
having said that, I'm all for, I'm all for solving things with peace. If it doesn't have to get ugly, it doesn't have to get ugly. That's why I don't support the regime change. And then, as a domino effect, I think this guy, I just don't. I think his bark is better. Is worse than his bite. I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think he has the resources or the capability to really substantially hurt us. Now he could, even if he did, right? Even if say God forbid a terror attack happened on the homeland, he it wouldn't end well for him. That's just you might as well just kill yourself. Like honestly, because like there's no way starting a war with the best military in the world is going to have a good outcome. And this man he's not a dumb guy. This guy, what does he do? He backs off. Like I said, it's actually one of the smarter things I've seen. You look at a country like North Korea, they have limited resources. Their main thing is also military. And what do they have to offer? They don't have shit in our interest. Their whole thing is like America's going to keep writing us checks as long as we don't threaten them. And it's like I just think there's a time where it's like I don't care about your threats, man. I'm sorry to say, but you're not going to win. I think Donald Trump is like one of the first presidents to just openly say that, and people criticize him a lot about that. It's not presidential, but it's kind of like going to the bully in the yard who is 6'4" in fourth grade, and he's bigger than you, and you're saying, hey, I want to punch you in the face and knock you out. It's just not going to end well for you. And America is obviously that bully in that scenario. So it's like, and Trump is just taking initiative, and I think he's playing it right. I think diplomatically, let's talk it out. I'm tired of these empty threats every day we see in the news. I'm going to bomb you. No, I'm going to bomb you. And then it stops for a little bit. All right, let's just say this. Here's what we're going to do. You can play by the rules or else. And I think that's kind of what Trump wants to do. I can't speak for that, but like kind of how he's very unpredictable, obviously. But kind of in the past, how he's handled this issue, I would say that's kind of how he's going to approach it, but like, with a smile, as you like to say.
Yeah, well, and I mean, my problem is I hope that we can resolve it diplomatically, but what I hope happens and what I think will actually work are two different things.
Okay, right. So listen, we'll go over that.
I mean, I'm not hoping for a war.
No. And I'm not trying to say,
I'm hoping it can be solved.
Yeah, no. I completely understand.
I think they're going to go back on the word.
But my whole thing is, because that's happened before. But my whole thing is like, I'm not saying like that's not an option. The regime change, okay, sure. It's like I think it's just a short-term solution. They're just going to find another guy to do. Like, look, this guy's father was crazy. The son is crazier. Yeah. He is crazier. So I just don't think. I just don't think.
Like I said, I'm not a fan of regime.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, yeah,
I'm not. But this is one that I could see as being justifiable, possibly. If push came to shove.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are good points.
If somebody from the inside had to do it. I personally hope that
SEAL
the
Team
North
6
Korean people eventually rise up.
Well, that would be
without
ideal.
our help, or not us funding them or anything, but like the North Korean people actually rising up and taking back their country.
Well, I think that's going to happen eventually. We see this again. History repeats itself, and how many tyrannical governments have fallen, because of revolutions, several. But anyway, let me ask you this. So, you mentioned South Korea. That's a concern. I agree with you. That's actually a good point. How would you describe America's relationship and I guess overall South Korea's relationship with its allies in the world, as far as importance to us and maybe importance to its allies, how would you say how important is South Korea? I guess to everybody. Let's go there.
Well, to us, South Korea is really important because number one, we have a huge military presence there, and North Korea could easily shell, fire artillery shells into our military bases and kill American citizens that way. So it is in our personal interest that South Korea is safe. Number two, they're a huge trading partner of ours, and they're one of the fairer trading partners because, they actually bring auto plants and stuff over here. So they give our people jobs and we give their people jobs.
That's a good point,
like
Gage.
China or screwing us over in
Right.
Mexico, basically. They're not totally screwing us over on trade. They're still they still have the upper hand. I'm pretty sure almost every country has the upper hand on us.
Not like Canada.
Not
NAFTA. Not NAFTA. I don't think Mexico and Canada don't, but yeah, and actually, we need to talk about this another time because the tariffs, that's been a hot topic too, and we'll talk about like economy and trade, another time, and that'll be a time when you guys can kill yourselves because that is awful. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Please don't commit suicide. We are not endorsing that, and that is terrible. We should not say that. Anyway, so. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Those points, and like I said, obviously from a humanity standpoint, it's just obviously, I would like to think everyone's goal is just peace. Like everybody help your brother out kind of deal. And if that's the goal, obviously, having a psycho, dictator bombing the hell out of you isn't going to really lead. That's not a good step in that direction, right? So obviously, I get so. On this foreign affair, we would say let's handle this diplomatically and hope that we can come to a peaceful resolution. Now, another hot topic has been Russia. So, so Gage, what about let's tackle a little bit of what's up? What's going on with the Russians?
Well, the biggest news within the past week, actually, was that the House Intelligence Committee found no evidence of collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. So it sounds like both the FBI and the House Intelligence Committee, they've been providing information with each other for the past 14 months, I think they said.
What do you
They haven't found anything.
As
we've known all along that it's been, phony to try and bring his presidency down, but now they've come out and said that they've found nothing.
Well, yeah, that's a good point, and yeah, I saw that too. I think it's a good step in the right direction now. Obviously, I think obviously the Democrats and I'm interested to see how Robert Mueller is still going to, rule, but we'll see how that all pans out. But I agree. I think this is a good step, for President Trump, and I will say too. I honestly did not believe in collusion. I thought there was some shady stuff going on as far as like maybe business deals or things like that. But I definitely don't think any collusion past the regular collusion that happens in presidential elections. I don't think there's anything between President Trump and the Russians now. Did Russia probably meddle in our election? I definitely agree that, but I really don't think Trump sought that out. And I thought that from the beginning. So I'm so interested to see.
My problem is that all these allegations have been brought against Trump for his entire presidency so far, trying to bring it down. But you look at past presidents and past people that have run. You look at, for instance, Hillary, who took $10 billion from Saudi Arabia, but that's not considered foreign influence in the elections.
All right, wait a minute.
You're sounding an eye at that.
You're sounding like a communist, Gage. Careful.
What?
I'm just kidding.
No,
I know. No, you're. Well, it's yeah, we all know how that's been. But so yeah, I just don't think like I said, I want to see how the rest of this pans out, but I do think Trump might be right on this this time, and
Yeah.
and honestly, like we've been seeing some things lately, and I think like slowly but surely people are starting to back our president a little bit. I do know he needs to get off Twitter sometimes, man. I'm sorry to say, but he really does.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but
I
on the
agree
same,
with that.
and he needs to change still a little bit of his character. But I think he is rounding up a little bit more support. Now we will continue to be talking about Russia here, but we are going to take a little bit of a break, guys, and we'll come back for part two of the Justice for All podcast. See you in a few.